Hey guys, so it's time to bring you my annual high-end favorites. So if you guys would like to see what I've been loving for the month of 2020, and granted, it's been a slow year, thanks Corona, then just keep watching. Okay, so let's start off with foundation and concealer. So I would have to say that my favorite foundation from the year has been the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage Foundation. I really like this one. I would have to say a close second would be the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. You can see how much I've run through this. I use this pretty much all summer, most of the spring, some of the fall. But then when I want like more full coverage, I will go for this one. I am in the shade 1.1, Fair Light Neutral Undertone. You don't need much of this. A little bit goes a long way. So a great foundation. For concealer, I have to say the Giorgio Armani concealer, and I can't even read the bottom of it to tell you what this is called. I think it's the Power Fabric. I like the shade 2 for the under eyes and around my face. I just think this has great coverage, great longevity. It looks beautiful on the skin, and I know there's a few other shades, like there's a pinkier shade that works well to cancel out blue tones, so just pick the shade that's right for you. It's definitely pricey, but I'd have to say it is worth the money. Moving on to powders, I have two winners for the year. For a setting powder, it is the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Translucent Powder. I've used a ton of this and I already have a backup. I just love the way that it keeps my face bright and still sets my makeup without looking cakey and dry. And then if I want a beautiful healthy glow, I go for the Too Faced Do You Translucent Radiant Nude. The shade is like this tan color on the bottom. It gives me this beautiful like bronzy glow finish without being orange or too warm. It has a similar effect to this Essence Pure Nude powder if you're familiar with that one. But it has a wonderful watermelon scent. You get a lot more in here. It's a loose powder. I don't know, I just find this to be very beautiful and flattering on the skin, so that's why it is in my top for the year. My favorite pressed powder for the year has to be the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, and this one is in Luminous Light. This is probably my favorite shade. It is just like this beautiful kind of silky smooth champagne-y peachy beige hybrid. It's just beautiful and makes the skin look so luminous and healthy without being shimmery, glittery. I just love it. Favorite bronzer for the year has to be the Huda Beauty Tantour in Fair. I really like cream bronzers. I feel like they work really well layered. I also feel like this one works really well on top of powder. I've put a pretty big dent in it. I really love the shade. I love the formula. I have nothing bad to say about this product. I mean, it's a strange packaging, but it works just fine for me for storing it, so big fan. Here is the shade for reference. For blush, I don't really purchase many high-end blushes, so I don't have a favorite high-end blush product for the year. So we'll just kind of skip that one and move right on to highlights. Ofra is actually a brand that I discovered this year as far as highlights go. And let me tell you, some of these are beautiful. This is the hashtag Ofra Glow Signature Palette, and inside we get Star Island, Rodeo Drive, Valley, Pillow Talk, and Blissful. And I have to say Rodeo Drive is probably one of my favorite shades. It's just this gorgeous like champagne with a slight hint of gold to it. I also really like mixing these two, the pink one and the lightest one. For days like this where I'm wearing like rose gold, I just think that these two shades together are definitely like bright and kind of like wake up the makeup look, if you want to say that. I also love this middle one, which is like a really peachy gold one, as a blush topper. I just love, and I'll probably never go through any of these, so that's why I got a little bit of each of them, and I think this is great. For brows, I generally go with drugstore pencils, drugstore setting gels, drugstore pomades, but I do think this It Cosmetics Brow Power Pomade is one of the better ones. It's a clear one. It holds my brows in place. Now granted, since I've become a bang person, I don't need to worry about my brows as much because they are, for the most part, hidden. But for the days when my hair is pulled back or when I decide to grow these out, this is definitely the brow product that I go for. I think it works so, so, so well. But the packaging always confuses me. I always think that the brow product should be on this side instead of this side because this is the bigger side. I always think this is the wand. That's the only thing that throws me off with this packaging. Lips, I have a ton of, so I'm going to save them for the end. Shadow palettes, I have 3. One should not be a surprise to anyone, and it is the ABH Norvina Mini Pro Pigment Palette Volume 2. It's the one with the beautiful sunset on front and these gorgeous shades inside. I love all of these, but I probably wear these for the most. They're so bright, they're so pigmented, they blend so well. I also love this shimmery green. I have to say that of the palette, these two are probably my least favorite shades, but still, I wear them, I love them, they get used. So this is a beautiful palette if you love bright and colorful looks, but I find that this one kind of tones all of the looks down. So even if you don't want it to be so wild and out there, you can just do a bit of orange on the lid, tap a little bit of this gold shimmer on top to kind of like subdue it, and then a little bit of this like brownish red in the crease, and it looks like a normal everyday look. So it might look intimidating, but I find it to be very wearable and fun, especially for the summer months. A palette that was debated by many as to whether it was good or not is the Natasha Denona Safari palette. Some people love it, some people hate it. I happen to be one of those people that absolutely loves it. So this is what the shades look like. I love this as a brightening shade, an inner corner shade. I particularly love these shades down here. I will do this in the crease, this on the outer corner, this as a liner. It's a beautiful, beautiful look. I will also go into the browns and oranges. I also really love this stone color. It's like a gray with like a hint of blue-green in it. It is stunning. So I happen to love all of these shades. And yes, if you're gonna mix your blues and your oranges, you're gonna get like a muddy shade. But done thoughtfully, these can make some beautiful looks, and I really like it, and I'm glad I purchased it. And this is actually what I wore for my family photo shoot earlier in the year, so I'm a big fan. And then another palette that came out this year is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette, and I have to say that I think this is beautiful. Her shades are so smooth and creamy. Again, this is a beautiful brightening shade. I love this brown. It's like a black brown. It's hard to explain. It doesn't have a super warm undertone. It has like a really deep undertone to it, and it's stunning. I love playing with everything in this row. While I don't play with the glitters as much since I've been having some like eye irritation lately to certain pigments and certain textures, I still think they're beautiful. They're definitely wearable. I was hoping she'd come out with Volume 2 by now, but she seems to have disappeared off of YouTube and off of the face of the planet since May. I hope she comes back. I hope she's fine, but I have to say that this is one of my favorite palettes for the year. For mascaras, I have 3, and for different reasons. I have to say that the Tarte Big Ego one is one of my favorites for separation and volume. I have to say the Nars Climax one is also another favorite for similar reasons. This one just seems to be a little bit better at separating. Both great on their own, great in conjunction with other products. And then finally the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash. This one was recommended by Mel Thompson because it doesn't smudge on the lower lash line, and I use this one on the lower lash line pretty much over any mascara because I don't have to worry about it smudging when I know that this is the top layer. So I will use this over every mascara on the bottom lash line. I especially love to wear this one over the Pat McGrath Fetish Eyes mascara, which is inky black and gets every single lash and makes it look like I'm wearing falsies, but this one smudges to the skin under my eyes, so I will put this one on and then this one on top to kind of seal it in, and it works like magic. So that's why I like this one. If there's any questionable formulas, I put this one over it, no issues. Okay. Setting spray. I would say it has to be the Smashbox Photo Finish Setting Spray. I think this one's really good. It's not too drying. It does lock things in. It also provides a little bit of freshness to the look, kind of like it melts things together. I think this is a great one, and I've completely gone through it. It's empty, so you'll also see this in a future empties video, but I'd say that this is probably the best one I've tried this year. Finally, we have lip products, and there were a lot of high-end lip products that I discovered this year and fell in love with. The first being the Jane Iridelle formula. The lip liners are beautiful. They're smooth. They're pigmented. I love this terracotta shade. And then I love putting their glosses on top. Their glosses all smell like lemongrass, which is so heavenly. I love it. And this is actually not as deep red as it looks. It says Cherries Jubilee, but it's more like a red wash of color. I love these together. The pencils are amazing. The gloss is amazing. If you love lemongrass scented things, definitely check this out. It's fantastic. Another lip liner that I discovered this year is the Pat McGrath Perma Gel Ultra Lip Pencil. I have Contour, I have Half Naked, and I think I have another one lying around here somewhere. I think these are great. They last all day long. So if you want a lip liner that is not going to go anywhere, check these out. A collab that I fell in love with this year is Mel Thompson and Christian Audette's collab collection. She has 2 liners and 2 lipsticks, and I love both the liners. This one here is Smooches. This is the darker one, but I love her Beauty lipstick. It is this beautiful neutral but leaning a little bit pinky tone lipstick. It's stunning. I have a backup of this because I love it so much. It was like my go-to lipstick for most of the year. So highly recommend this. Also, I have to mention the Kevyn Aucoin lip liners. Minimal is one of my favorites. It's in my purse, which is why I don't have it right now. I take it with me pretty much everywhere. It's basically like a Your Lips But Better, and I can wear that under my mask. It doesn't come off on my mask, and my lips still look defined and beautiful all day. So highly recommend those. Also, if you're going to use a glossy lip look, check out the Glass Glow lips. I particularly like Prism Rose and their bronzy one. They're my favorites, but obviously you can't wear this under a mask. It's just for when you want a super glass-like glossy lip for a look, perhaps a Zoom call or a photograph, somewhere where you're not going to be covering your lips. Highly recommend. And then a lipstick from Smashbox that I loved wearing with the Kevyn Aucoin Minimalist liner are these, what are these called? The Always On Cream to Matte lipsticks, and this one's in Just Barely. And I definitely have like a preferred tone. I like rosy cool or rosy neutral tones. Not too pink, not too brown, not too red. Like, this is my family that I live in here, my lipstick color family. I love this lipstick. It is creamy, it's not drying, it lasts a good amount of time. So I think that is it for my high-end favorites for 2020. Leave me a comment down below with what you've been loving this year. I love reading your comments, so definitely do that before you exit out of this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I will see you in my next video. Happy New Year.